everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hey, you guys. How's everyone doing? Happy Saturday. Now, I will say again, I posted this earlier yesterday whenever I put this out. Connor is trying to get, I think he said, where's my thing? Where's my thing? Where's my thing? There it is. He's trying to get 8 of the Sigma Chi frat bro interviews, and they have quoted him like $590 something because, you know, they're just so stupid with these stupid prices. So half of anything that comes into me today is going to go to Connor because I really want to hear these. I want to hear these interviews. We've been asking for these interviews. I never FOIA'd them because it was going to take me forever to figure out everyone's names. So he was able to FOIA them, and he got a response, and he has 7 days in order to get those in. And I know that some people have been donating over to him. His PayPal is linked right here. If you don't want to go through all of that, then again, half of everything that I get donated or tipped, or however the wording is, you have to say it for on this thing, whatever I get today, well, half of it's going to go to Connor to help pay for these FOIAs, because I really, really want to hear these. I really, really want to hear these, especially the one from the guy that says that Xana was supposed to go meet another frat after that party, but then something happened and she didn't. I want to hear all of that information. I want to hear more information about the timeline of that party and Xana and Ethan. I want to hear timestamps. Now, are they going to be accurate? Probably not. Nothing is in this case, but I want to hear. I want to hear. And I know that these are going to end up coming from that one report where it's just like bam, 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 and it's like 3 sentences, but they're spending, I think he said like the paperwork says like 222 minutes worth of editing, which is redactions. So obviously it lasted more than just a couple of sentences, these interviews. So I'm really anxious to see what they have to say. Hey there, Lady Di. How you doing? Hey there, Sadie. Hey, 412. How you doing? Oh, awesome. Awesome, Chris. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we're going to be going through a couple different things. What I did is I went into the 11-12 footage, and I took from Eric pulling in and then pulling out as Peyton Rossi is pulling in with Jack all the way until around like 3 o'clock, right before 3 o'clock, I think is when it is. Because in that time frame, we see a couple cars coming in, going towards Jack Jacor's house and then leaving. I think we see it twice. We also hear a male call out for a doggy at some point. And then all of a sudden we hear Murphy, like in the background, like the girls just found him and he's back home. Now, I want you to pay attention to the timestamps in this because no one ever claims anything about when Murphy was found that night. The most that we heard from Bethany is that, what's the timestamp? Like 2:53, 2:54. It's one of those two. Maddie is not only calling Bethany to ask if she knows where Murphy is, but also she is going down there knocking on Bethany's door. Bethany is awake. She's watching TV. She's eating the snack she grabbed in the kitchen. She's up. Well, this whole Murphy noise that you hear, which again has got to be the girls having Murphy, like finding him. Like, why else would you say it that way? The way that we hear the tone, if you haven't just found what you've been looking for. That's what it sounds like. It is minutes after the call to Bethany, and it is so loud. And then you hear a door shut. And I also want you to pay attention to some lights, because you hear like an engine start. And I was kind of confused at first, and I'll reiterate this when we get to this section. But there's lights that reflect on the house over, or the apartment complex over on this side. And then you hear like an engine start, and it takes a minute, and then a car comes in. And at first I'm thinking, okay, did that engine start come from that corner? And that's when that car comes in. But no, it's not, because the car keeps on going and the lights don't change. The reflection of the lights and the way that they're on that building don't change. Not long after Murphy's sound, like the whole Murphy thing that you hear, it seems like somebody walks in front of those headlights and then they sort of just like disappear. So I don't know if it was a vehicle that came from the back and then turned around and left, if it was a car that was in the parking lot. I don't know, but the car, when you hear the engine start, that vehicle sits there for a hot minute up until Murphy is found. And I don't know who it is. We can't see who it is. We can only hear an engine start and then watch the reflection of the lights. So we're going to watch that. In the pieces where I think that nothing's happening, I have 3 times it. It's like sped it up because y'all have access to all these original things. If y'all want to go in and watch all of it without my redactions, not redactions, but like my edits where I'm speeding stuff up or putting things on the screen, y'all know exactly where those are. But for the sake of this, I have sped some of it up. We're also going to go through Noon's, Warner, and Gunderson's cameras. I've taken the pieces that I wanted, did what I needed to do, put them together. It's going to show when Murphy was found. It's going to show them taking Murphy out, and then it's going to eventually show Murphy being handed off to Olson. But we're also going to go through all of the reports. Now, in the very beginning, not really in the very beginning, but for a while there, a lot of people were saying that Murphy was like missing from the police station, that someone stole him, and all of this just like unnecessary stuff. And that was not the case. What this was shit communication is what this was, because we have the reports from Barrett talking to Jack Tricor and basically giving permission for him to go and pick up the dog. We have the report from Rosendahl, is that how you say it? From Nate Rosendahl, that actually physically goes down and hands Jack the dog. We also have a couple other pieces of reports we're going to go over. Now, what I realized today, and I filed a FOIA for this today, we have the animal control paper. We have the pink paper. We've gone over that here on this channel. Someone else FOIA'd it, but it was sent to me in that batch of information that was sent to me from someone close to the case the same time I got the DoorDash information for Xana. That all came to me in the exact same email from the exact same person. That is Officer Olson dropping off Murphy. What I realized today, going through the reports, is that the paperwork that Rosenthal gave to Captain Lanier after he gave Murphy to Jack is what we haven't seen. And it specifically states in the report, number 132, it specifically states he hands all of his paperwork over to Captain Lanier. So I FOIA'd that today, and I was very specific, and I said, we've seen the pink animal control slip that Olson signed. What we don't have is the information for when Jack was able to come and pick up Murphy. Where's the paperwork that was given from Nate Rosenthal over to Captain Lanier? So that's everything that we're going to go over. And then at the very end, we're going to go over the Humane Society or whatever it is, the call for the animal shelter, because that call and the information for the dog, and again, the poor lack of communication is the reason why there's so many issues with this to begin with. But I will tell you, when Rosendahl met with Jack, it was like 6 p.m. So apparently whoever would have been working wasn't there anymore. But there still had to have been like somebody there, right? To like let the cops into the building. They don't just leave that shit locked, like unlocked all day. So even if it would have been like after hours, somebody would have still have had to have like let him in. So I don't know if he had a key. There was no body cam. There's no body cam. But we're going over Murphy's entire timeline tonight. That is what I wanted to do here. The entire timeline. So I'm going to get, welcome back, Miller Time. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome, Whitney. Welcome. Jay Waka. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and pull everything up and get started. It's been about 13 minutes. I feel like everyone that's going to be able to meet in here today is going to be in here. The police do have the key to the pound. I mean, you would really think so, but I don't hear anything about that in any of the dispatch stuff, so I don't know. I'm just assuming that, to me, it just feels weird that there is that big of a lack of communication, because in my opinion, someone that actually is assigned to work at the animal control shelter would have had to have been there in order for like paperwork and stuff to have even been filed. And the report that what's-his-face Rosendahl wrote is literally 3 sentences. So there's that. She did say Rosie had a key. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go through the call at the end of the thing here. I've listened to it like once as I was like just seeing what it was all about, but we're going to go through all of the paperwork here. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull this up. And again, this is going to be, get all this out the way. Okay, this is going to be the 1112 camera from Jack getting there until about like 3. And again, there's pieces that have been sped up, and it's going to tell you when it's been sped up. Because I don't know where Murphy went. I don't ever see Murphy on this camera. Now, is Murphy maybe on the Linda Lane camera? I'm not sure. I know some people have questioned it. I'd have to go back in and see if I can actually see him over there. I don't recall a timestamp specifically if he was on that one or not. All I know is that for all of the running around apparently that he's doing, and for all the time that apparently he was missing, we don't see him cross in front of the camera. And you would really just kind of think that you would, especially since it's pretty open right here. So I'm going to play this. And remember, until it gets to, 225, there's no sound. There's no sound. So this is Eric pulling in. And it's going to be just a few seconds. He's there for less than a minute before he is going to leave. And this is where I've 3x'd it a little bit just to like sort of get past a little bit. Because it's just a minute. I need to move myself so y'all can see where it says 3x for me. There it is. Okay. Now he's going to leave, and Peyton Rossi is pulling in with Jack Jakor. Okay. Now, this is the part where I really cannot stand that there's no sound here, because we don't know what's happening here. We don't know if the girls are still outside and notice that Jack's car is there. We don't know if Jack gets out, notices the girls just got dropped off, maybe yells for them. Like, we don't know if there's any sort of communication between the two of them. We don't know what we're hearing. There's nothing here. We can't hear if they went outside before this, because again, we're being told that around 2:10 that they're all up in Kaylee's room, but then it's very soon after that Bethany and Maddie go outside with Murphy, all within just a few minutes, and we have no sound for any of this. And this is again, I really wish that we could hear if there's any sort of interaction between them. All you see is them getting out of the vehicle, and you see the shadows of them moving around. Now here's Peyton leaving. Everybody seems to back up right here. Pretty common thing. Now he's leaving. Now this is going to be 3x for a minute. Pretty much, the only time I really stop it during the silent pieces, or if a vehicle's coming in, or if somebody comes out of the house. I think is that what the mute, or after the sound starts? I can't remember. But there's a lot more there's a lot more stopping and stuff that I'm pointing out in the piece with audio than with this one. But I didn't want to just get rid of it either. I wanted to just let it play through. This shouldn't really be. See, okay, so I pointed right here to where we see a light turn on. This is Jack's house back here. Because keep in mind, there's a bunch of phone calls happening soon here. Now, I don't know why it took 30-ish minutes or so, but she gets home at 1:56, and according to the family, the first timestamp for her calling Jack is 2:26, and then the next one is not for 18 minutes. That is a 17-minute window that matches perfectly with what that interview says about there being a 17-minute long call that Jack tries to deny before all of the back-to-back calls get started. There's going to be a portion here too where the rest of the lights at the bottom of the house turn on as well. But all it's really showing is that people are awake. That's all that's there for, is that they're awake. And I'll acknowledge when the lights turn off too. I don't remember how far this piece goes. Y'all talking about food? We made a steak pasta tonight because I've been wanting to make a steak pasta, because there's pictures of steak pasta all over the freaking internet. And so that's what we tried to make. Well, not try to. We made it. It was pretty good. Oh, like thingy. Okay, let me get rid of it. Hold on. Well, let me just get rid of it. Okay. Now you can see it. And it's going fast because this is the part that's 3x. So we can make it a little bit bigger. Try to make it a bit bigger. There it goes. Right? Yeah, me too. We like to try different things. I like to cook, get creative. I really don't like having recipes. I like just being able, I just like having ingredients and then going in there and like being creative. Lots of butter. Lots of butter. Okay, now we have more lights at the bottom turning on. So he's totally like, I mean, at least the house is definitely awake. And I do point out when there's a cat, because I know that there's some animals moving around and some people have wondered if it was Murphy. You can definitely tell that it's kitties. There's one that walks right here, and then there's another one that comes out this way and kind of crosses this way later on in the video. You hate cooking. To me, it's like stress-free. I like to relax. Like sometimes I like, oh my God, I don't want to cook. But then I start getting in the kitchen and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Now here comes a car. Now we also know that Eric Gower does come back into the area. We know that he picks up people at 11:19, but I don't know who this person is right here that just came all the way back to Jack's house. Because we have to remember, when we hear something about come on doggy or something like after when the noise comes back, a car that looks very, very similar to the car that we just saw pull in here also pulls in all the way to Jack's house at the exact same way and then leaves. So this is where I want to know who this person is. It's not Eric Gower. He does not say that he came back so quickly. And when he talks about going back, he says that he goes back to 11:19. And we see when he picks up the people at 11:19. So who is this person that just went back to Jack's house? Because they're going to leave here in a few minutes. That's why I have the question mark still up there, because the car is still there. I mean, it's got to be, I don't think it's a roommate. I mean, it could be a roommate, but I don't think it's a roommate because the person's going to leave. The person's about to take off. So I don't know. I don't know if Jack just got picked up here or what. And I only question if it's Jack being picked up, because when the car comes back later and we hear someone talk about, come here, doggy, instantly, the second the car pulls up and stops and you like hear the door open, the person's calling out for the dog like you would know. You're supposed to be calling out for a dog. So I'm really just wondering if it's Jack that just got picked up and he left with someone. And then when she starts calling him because she can't find Murphy, he pulls back in, and does he pick him up? I don't know, because we never see the car pull back in before they find Murphy. That's another reason why I'm really like confused about the vehicles coming in and out. There is another house on the end of the street. That's why I don't know. I don't know if it's somebody for Jack's house or if it's the one next to it. See, and here's a cat walking right here. But see, this is the timestamp right here where Dylan has already messaged Eric and asked if he was driving, and in about 2 minutes he's going to respond. So at this portion in time, she's messaging whoever the other person is that she's sending messages to that we just recently found out about. Because we just recently found out that there were messages in between her and Eric, several. And I question, you've probably watched that video, I question if that's the reason why Eric just got completely ignored. Is this person somebody that came by the house, maybe picked them up, took them somewhere, brought them back, maybe brought them food? Is it the reason why Eric's message literally went unread? Because again, the purpose was not just to see what your homeboy's up to. The purpose was, are you out providing a service? Because I need to pay for said service, is the whole point of their messages. So for her to just not even bother was interesting. especially seeing that it didn't even get read until like the panic was happening. If that was Enon's kitty and he just lets that cat walk around like that, that's insane. I could never. But there's going to be another, I don't know if it's the same cat, but there's going to be another cat that comes from this way. I don't remember what time Eric says he got home. But we do know that he did a couple more like pickups after. Zelda's in here sleeping. ISP has never released any audio. The only videos that's ever come from this porch camera is from MPD. So no. There's no new audio or no new video anywhere. Yeah, like my cat, I keep the window cracked, and the baby, the orange one, he sleeps with his little paws like outside of the window. So I'm about to get them a cat box, like one of the ones where like you open the window and it's just like this big box they can walk out. I think it was what I'm about to do. We got a few more minutes before the sound comes back on. Now, just keep in mind that the scream is at 2:27 and it starts about 2 minutes after the sound's going to start. I give you like a incoming, it's going to show up any minute type thing. And also something I want to just like side note here for those of you that are following along with the bullshit that Watch the Obsession is trying to throw out there about what the sound apparently is. That shit don't make no sense because she's trying to say that the arguing and everything that's happening inside that house where you can hear a male saying F you and saying all these cuss words and stuff, and then you hear that freaking scream. No one walks out of that house for like a good hour. And the two girls that walk out and they leave in this vehicle, like they're not trying to like hurry. They're still like, no one leaves. Like you're getting broken up with, there's this situation going on and no one leaves the house. So I'm really kind of curious as if these people use their windows to get in and out. Because you kind of do hear what kind of sounds like a sliding door sometimes, but you also sometimes hear the same sort of noise when there's a car passing in the back here, like passing on Walenta. But I'm really curious because of the way that their windows and stuff are. I'm really wondering if they use windows as access. That whole thing is just crazy. But I was really just like watching. I'm like, okay, let me go back in and see, like right after this thing, if people are breaking up with each other and that's where the scream is happening and there's this DV situation happening. And oh my God, okay. I'm watching and I'm waiting. No one leaves. No one leaves the house. It just gets quiet. Like after you hear a weird noise and I'm like, are they going out the windows? Because what else am I supposed to think at this point? And I swear, if this is all fake, like if she's really coming out here and really just making up some shit, as somebody who's actually been through it, like you're really about to be on my bad side. Like for real. There's also a really stupid, disgusting trend going on TikTok that I think I'm going to talk shit about on my second channel, where people are like having their spouses pretend to hit them to see how their child that's like a literal freaking 4 and 5-year-old are going to react. This one piece of shit chick called her sister and said that her dude had beat on her, and it's all a gag. It's all a prank. And the sister's tripping. She's like yelling and screaming. She's hyperventilating. Ooh, I'm so tired of it. As somebody who's been through it, to fake that kind of shit, you got to be like the lowest of the low. The lowest of the low. All right, the sound's starting, and in about 2 minutes, you're going to hear that scream. There's still pieces of this that I'm going to 3 times forward, but again, pay attention to the screen because I'm going to ask you when to look at the lights. Yeah, and that was the other thing they're trying to say. Well, see, it's not the owner. What the chick is saying, at least is how I've come to understand it, is she's trying to say that it was a friend of theirs that was over there, and that all kinds of things were happening in that house that night that just didn't normally happen, and there were people in the house that just normally wouldn't have been there, and substances that normally wasn't there. Miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with the bullshit. This is how you lived. Don't sit here and try to say this was a one-off situation, because then I'm just going to instantly know that you're full of shit and you're freaking lying, okay? But yes, they're trying to say in this stupid bullshit that Watch the Obsession is putting out there that their windows were wide open until 5 o'clock in the freaking morning. I'm sorry, 5 o'clock in the freaking morning. So that means that while whoever is doing whatever actually happened in that house, your windows are wide open and you can hear everything. You can hear the feet steps of people moving around. You can hear Murphy running around. Your windows are open. Yeah, I don't really think she thought very, very much at all, if any, before she came out with that bullshit, because she just made everybody look worse, if you want to be so serious. Dumb. Now that's the SUV that pulls in, and we were like, that's crazy because it's right before the scream, and it looks like it could be the one that's parked at the King Road house. But then I think it also leaves again. It could be a completely different vehicle, but I know that this was a section where we had questions. One of them did go that way, holding on to something too. Now, I don't know if she went to Jack's house or if she went to the house next to Jack's house, because there is another house back there. And I think there's also another one on the other side of the one that you see right here. There's another house too. But I do find it interesting that we do see the next morning someone come out of this house and make a trail straight that way. Like, you can hear this argument so clear, like clear enough to know what the hell is going on. I remember that. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're in my house, because this is not the people that live at 1112. They're claiming this is a friend of theirs. If you're in my freaking house and you're arguing like that and someone's screaming like a psychopath, get out. Get out. I don't care if you got to walk. You're not doing this in my shit. Get out. And that's not what happens. So whoever, because the male is not like on a freaking phone. This argument is not happening with the girl in the house and the dude's on the phone and she's just like stupid. Okay. This is happening in their faces. So you're telling me you've got all these people in your house. You've got a guy in there cussing your friend out. She's screaming. All this arguments going on, and no one tells this piece of shit to leave. You got how many people in that house, and no one tells this dude to leave? No, I don't believe a freaking word. And also listen to how clear it sounds. Their door is not open. Could a window have been open? It would help a lot if we knew which window was open. Yeah. But this is very much not muffled enough to tell me that it's coming from deep in the house. Like if this is actually inside the house, then they're right there by an open window because it's clear enough. It's clear enough. See how it just like calms down a little bit. Like it's been a minute and a half since that scream, and now it's just nice and quiet. See, I don't think that's the same SUV that pulls in. Like, I thought it might be at first, but I'm just not really quite sure. It looks smaller. Like, just in general, it looks like it's a more compact vehicle. Yeah, on the balcony. And see, that also makes a lot more sense too, because I'm really kind of wondering now if the balcony was open. Like I mentioned before that I thought that maybe Murphy wasn't really like running around outside, like on the ground itself, that he was actually on the balcony kind of like going back and forth because of the way that the sound would kind of go back and forth. I mean, he could have been on the ground, and I really did think that at first because there is a vehicle that comes in, and he's the way that the truck sounds is like it sort of like slows down and then gasses a little bit at a time. Like you would try to like slowly get past an animal that's like on the road, like walking around to like go real slow and be careful, but also still try to move. You know what I mean? So the balcony at first didn't honestly make a lot of sense to me. But then when we started looking at the way that it like wraps around, it actually has like a really decent curve to it. It's very possible that he was just running back and forth on the balcony because it does reach around long and like far enough to where it would change the echo of the way that he was sounding. So yeah, it's possible that at the time that we hear all the barking, he is just up on the balcony because we don't see him on anything. And even then, like we know that he's lost about in this section of time and we don't see him running around nowhere, but we don't see him running around then either. Which I've always kind of questioned too, because like if we had a better camera angle, I bet you we would see him maybe going back and forth between, if he's on the ground, we would see him going back and forth between that house and Jack's, because you know that there's that path in between the fence and that house. There's probably a lot of stuff happening on the other side of this house that we don't get to see. Oh, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships, Kay Schmitz. Congratulations to those that got those. Thank you. See, it's crazy. They had that ginormous crazy fight where there's a horrible scream, and now it's just like barely anything happening. But everyone's still in that house. You didn't see nobody leave. It got amazingly quiet, and nobody left. No, this is more noises. Oh, thank you so much, Deccan. Thank you. And again, half of everything that you guys donate tonight is going to go to Connor, because Connor is trying to get these interviews. I'm just going to go back to my original message so I can pop it up on the screen. He FOIA'd for 8 of the Sigma Chi frat bro interviews, and they want like almost $600 because they're assholes. And that's expensive. So half of everything that I get tonight is going to go to help him with those FOIAs. So thank you. I appreciate that. For what? What did you FOIA? Yeah, they ask like crazy ass prices. Like they should be honestly ashamed of themselves. Jesus Christ. It's been insane. It has been insane. They have gotten so much money from us. Oh my God. I want to know what you FOIA'd, because it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't at all. Audio. Yeah. Anything audio usually is a freaking firstborn child. So I filed like 3 FOIAs between yesterday and today. There's an inmate video of somebody talking about Kohberger that Payne was sent from the prosecutor's office. So I asked for that. There's also text messages between Sergeant Blaker and Dylan, and then Sergeant Blaker and Bethany. So since they're technically crime related and they're with police officers, I wonder if it's going to fall under personal. And I asked for those. And then, like I said, I asked for the paperwork that Rosenthal is saying that he gave to Captain Lanier. I filed those within the last like 24 hours or so. So we'll see what they say. We'll see what they say. Oh, thank you for the $3.99, Aisha. I appreciate that. Thank you. You want to be so for real? Look, and I mention this all the time. Because it's crazy to me. For the Kylie Rodney case, I FOIA'd California Highway Patrol, and they sent me satellite video, like probably like 18 different satellite videos. They sent me everything from when they had her Honda CRV taken apart from the FBI, what they were doing with it at CHP to go through all of the information. They sent me everything, okay? And satellite videos are massively ginormous ass files. Not a dime. Not a dime. I asked for the knife sheath chain of custody information from Moscow. And out of 685 emails, they can only give us 2. And then they give us some shitty ass photos, which there's only 3 of. And that was $200. Y'all saw how much we paid for the 11/12 footage. Okay. California Highway Patrol, massively ginormous ass satellite files. Nada. MPD, 2 pieces of paper, your arm and your leg. I don't understand, and it should be the same all the way across the board. The simple fact that nothing when it comes to these FOIAs is simple. It reminds me of dealing with health insurance and the crap that I have to do with at work. There's no reason for all of these things to be so different and cause so many issues, because what you might think is okay in one state and how you think you can file for your information in one state might be completely different. Look the difference between Pennsylvania when it comes to how we're trying to get the interview that they did with Kohberger and the information that we're handling in Idaho. 2 completely different things. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Thanks for the $6.99, Chris. I want to hear interviews, but I doubt we hear anything from Loach and Barry. Yeah, I really want to know more about what they have to say without the blurred faces. See, that's another problem I have with these interviews. These are all grown-ass adults, and I want to see the expression that they're making. I want to see their eyes when they're answering questions. I want to see what their mouth is doing when they're talking. I want to see their face. Things change when you can actually like get a feel. And you can't do that with a blurred face. Listen. Second time the cars come in. And now leaving. The car pulls in. Somebody gets out and says something about, "Come here, doggy," is what it sounds like to me. And then they leave. Car door. Okay, it didn't go back. Okay, one more time. Now, this is the second time. Again, I don't know if it's the same car. It's a dark, small car. That's all I know. And we're still a good 20 minutes before you hear Murphy in the background, like they finally found him. I can't tell what kind of car it is. It just looks like a small, dark car. And see, it almost looks like it could be Eric Gower's car. But this vehicle was here earlier. Let's see if I can go back and get it real quick. Or is it going to go crazy? Let's see. I should have written down the timestamp. Okay, here it is right here. So this is when it comes in the first time. I thought the voice said Murphy's name the first time that we watched it, but then I hear a G after the fact. Is that too close? Is that too far? Okay, yeah, here it is. Okay. This is the timestamp. I needed to write this part down. Okay, now it's at 2:08. Okay. This is why I wish we could hear right here, because to me it looks like it's the same vehicle. See, it's hard to tell. This camera's crap. It's just a little dark car. It's so hard to tell. And then we go forward to, what was it, in the 30s? Right here. I see you pulling in. like it almost looks like the same shape. I just wish we knew who this was. And I mean, yeah, it could be Eric, I guess, but he only talks about going back and picking up the people at 11:19. And we see that on camera. It happens around the same time that the Banfield situation's going on. Remember, I did that like 4-way video with Linda Lane, Banfield, this camera. I think there was like something else. There was like a 3-way thing maybe. But that's all happening. Like the Banfield situation, when everyone's off to the side of the road and they're getting their actual like citations and their tickets, is the same time that Eric Gower shows up to pick up the people at 11:19. Now, what the hell was that? Is that supposed to be another DV situation happening? Is that what we're supposed to believe? Watts? Your bullshit. The hell is that scream for? Like, what's the point in that? You don't hear party noises. That's another thing. People, oh, party noises. Where? Where's the music? Where's everyone else talking? You don't hear party freaking noises. I'm not dumb. And I'm not old, and I'm not just born yesterday. I know what a party sounds like. That's not it. You don't hear anything else. You don't hear anything else. Dumb. Like, what is that? It's not intelligible. People could be like, oh, they're calling for Murphy. You'd hear that. That's literally just like noise. Yeah, there's no music. There's no sounds. There's no talking around it. It's just. It's not party noises, bro. We'd hear a freaking party. I don't think the cops are in the area just yet. Actually, I don't know where they were before they are in the Banfield area. But yeah, I guess that's a good question. Like, are they just like parked somewhere listening to this shit and doing absolutely nothing? I don't know where they are at this point in time. Now, there are going to be portions in this where if you listen, since we've heard their voices so much, you can hear what I think is Dylan's voice at some point. I can hear Bethany at some point. I can hear Maddie at some point. See, now I can hear like a beat. No, we have all of the reports that we're going to go over Rosenthal gave all the paperwork to Lanier. In his report, it says that when he goes down there to meet Jack after Officer Barrett, or is it Captain Barrett, whatever his freaking title was, Barrett is the one who Jack talked to at the station. He doesn't answer him at first, and then he talks to him again. He has it in his report twice, where he finally is like, yeah, you can have the dog. So he assigns Rosenthal to go down to the shelter, and in Rosenthal's report, he says he gives all the paperwork over to Captain Lanier, but that's the paperwork I want. That's the paperwork that I filed a FOIA for today, since we don't have that. We only have the pink slip, which I'll show again after we're done with this stuff. But yeah, that's like the one piece that we're technically missing in this whole thing, is the true paperwork of Jack actually getting to pick up Murphy, and it's supposed to be with Captain Lanier. So just more screams, just like out of nowhere. Yeah, I think I do remember that. Oh, I missed this, Megastar. And thank you for the $9.99. I FOIA'd Homeland Security about the interview they did. They told me to contact ISP. I know Homeland Security helped for some reason. Some Homeland Security officers accompanied ISP officers when they did some of their interviews. But honestly, if you were to try to FOIA the exact same information with ISP, they're going to tell you to FOIA MPD, because they're supposed to have given everything over to Moscow. But that's the same kind of game that I get when I go between Nevada County and Truckee when it comes to Kylie Rodney's case. It's always ask Truckee, and Truckee's like ask Nevada, and Nevada's always like ask this other everywhere. It goes back and forth in a circle. But I bet you anything, if you ask ISP, they're going to tell you to FOIA MPD, because that's the game they play. Yeah, that doesn't sound like party noises. That's just weird. Now I put calling for Murphy there. I don't know if you can hear it. There's like a whistle. And it's like a whistle that one would whistle if you were whistling for a dog. That's why I put it there like that. See, that sounded like a car door. Doors. It does sound like a big fight. Was that a slam? And then what the F are you talking about? That's what it sounded like. And that's what I mean. Like the girl that that apparently told Watzel this bullshit is claiming that all kinds of people were in this house. Okay, well, if you got one abusive piece of shit in that house, then why are y'all not making him leave? Why is it all this big commotion and then silence and then commotion and then silence and then commotion and then silence and everyone's just staying in there and it ain't your boyfriend? It's a friend of yours and her dude that are in there causing all the shit and no one's made this piece of shit leave? Like, I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. It sounded like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's what it sounded like. That's like in my ear, bro. Yeah, this is outside. And notice outside, and we've seen no one come out this damn door. So she cannot sit there and say that it's these people. This is not, oh, you're having some sort of party thing inside your house and a window's open. I'm sorry. This dude has got to be standing like right there because this shit is loud. That is not, there is no wall in between that voice and this camera. I'm sorry. No. Now this one, they're still calling Jack back to back to back. Now this is the first time Maddie's phone is calling Jack. We're still 10 minutes away before Maddie calls Bethany. And then it just gets quiet. I'm sorry, but parties don't just get silent all of a sudden and then get loud and then get silent and then get loud and then get silent. I'm sorry, that's not normal. No, okay, pay attention to these lights. Now you heard the engine start. And a car door shut, but the vehicle doesn't go anywhere. And it's not the one that you're about to see. Now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna shut up for a second until we see the car. Listen very, very closely. When a car is approaching the area, you can hear it literally approach. Like you could hear it sort of sounds like wind. You could hear it. So after this car starts and you see the lights and you hear a car door shut, you're going to see a vehicle come in from the corner right here. It is not the same engine. And obviously you know that because the lights would not be reflecting on the building if it was over on the other side. But I want you to just to keep that in mind because this vehicle is going to stay started right here for minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes until after we hear Murphy's name be called by what I'm assuming is one of the girls at 1122. So who is in this vehicle? Whose vehicle is this that started? Is it somebody at 1122 just hanging out in the car? Like, what is this? What is this? Okay. You're going to hear a different sound before you see the vehicle turn in. Listen deep in the back. You can hear the rumbling of a vehicle approaching. So the lights are not this vehicle. That's the cop car. Maybe I turned up the volume too much. I don't remember it sounding that shitty. See that car? That's got to be the cop car. This is minutes before Banfield. Yeah, I think I upped the volume too much on it because that sounds like trash can lid. But notice the lights. Someone has started a vehicle either in front of 1122 or in the parking area of 1122. It is sitting there with the vehicle on. Oh, thank you for the $4.99 fly on the wall. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday night. That scream is horrendous. Doesn't mean that's when everyone went down, but I think it's related. It is horrible. It is horrible. I'll never forget. In my entire life, it doesn't matter if I live to be 5,000 years old. I will never forget. And I should have listened. I should have listened to the damn video before we did our live review. But this is a reaction channel before it's anything else. So obviously, we're just going to watch the shit and see what happens. I wish, it's like the one time I wish that I would have heard it ahead of time. Because then I could have at least warned you guys. I had no freaking clue. I had no idea. I will never, ever, ever forget that sound. And I just won't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, that's pain. That's pain in that scream. I see the light is still on. See, that was like a... That was like another light scream. You heard it? No, not Mr. Clean. Now, I'm only pointing this out because these people are coming out of this house, like, as the noises and stuff are happening. I think, is this the one where it's the two people? I think this is the one where it's the two people and they go back here, they start their vehicle for a little while. These are the same two people, as far as my brain can remember, that Eric Gower ends up picking up later, but they go and they like hang out in the back in a vehicle because you're going to see like lights turn on and they're back there for a little bit. But again, I'm just pointing it out because it's something on the screen and they're outside as all this noise is happening. See, they're walking that way. So Watts is what, expecting us to think that every single one of these screams is some chick fighting with her dude? Is that what she's going to try to make us believe? Like, I just can't stop. I cannot help but keep going back to the stupidity that I heard in that damn live. Eventually, I'm going to address all of this very, 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 very specifically. But I just can't help but think about how stupid the whole thing is. Yeah, and see, that's the shit that pissed me off. That's when she pissed me off because I said, okay, in one portion of your video, you're saying that there are no differences, that the person listened to the whole thing and everything was fine. Then she comes out and says something about, oh, there's 4 spots where something sounds different. So there's a bone to chew on. Girl, how old are you? How freaking old are you? And then she says something about how, oh, it's just volume wise. So just the volume sounds like it's a little bit lower than everywhere else. And that's what you're over here saying chew a bone for? Girl, I'm not the one to fuck with, bro. I'm really just not. Not. Yeah, there ain't no way you're going to sit here and try to tell me that whatever this bullshit is. No. In like 2-ish minutes, Bethany is supposed to get a call from Maddie. Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. Now, I just did that because I don't know if that's like a car turning around. I don't know if I don't know what that light was. It's just like there for like a second. That is what that sounded like, isn't it? I pulled out those couches. That is what that sounded like. No, because you're going to see right after we hear what sounds like Murphy, you're going to see movement in front of those lights, like someone walked in front of them. And if this was parked at the Whites, you wouldn't be able to see it in the reflection right here on this side of the building. You wouldn't be able to see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see it. It's right after you hear them say Murphy's name. It should be coming up any minute now. No, because we heard the car engine like it was right next to the camera. This says 3x, but I don't feel like this is 3x. I must have mislabeled this part. I feel like this is normal speed. Maybe not, though. No, I don't think it's the cop. I don't think it's the cop because when we hear the what timestamp is this? When we hear the car start, it looks like a few minutes after we hear the car start and see the lights, it looks like that's when a few minutes after that, the cop car pulls in. That's what I see. We'll play it from right here, then I'll go back. So I think the cop car pulls in after this. See, engine. See how close it sounds? Like it's right there, and then the door shuts. Oh, the honks? Yeah, maybe. No, SARS. I'm the one who took the audio and just upped the volume. I didn't clean it. I just upped the volume. But I feel like I upped it too much because when the car comes in a minute, it sounds like a damn trash can. And I guess I'd have to explain why I say trash can. When people don't know how to put subwoofers and bass speakers and shit in their vehicle, it sounds like absolute trash. And that's what the car sounds like when it pulls in. I think I just overdid the volume, because sometimes if I take it from 100 to 200 in like the third upload or download of me putting stuff together, sometimes it can like distort it a little bit. I feel like it's distorted a little bit. Yeah, like that car that started was like right there. You're going to hear like a bass of an engine in a second, and then you're going to see what I think is the cop car pull in. You hear it? It's coming from Taylor. See right there, it sounds like shit. See, that sounds like poop. But see, I think this is the silver cop car. I think this is the silver cop car. And see how many minutes it takes before it like shows up after we hear the engine start? That engine is like right there. Now I know that somebody said something about it being up at Moy's house. I know that Matt Moy started his vehicle at like a certain time. We watched in one portion that we went over his interview, his car like actually turn on. We could see the headlights like actually start, and then we could see when he pulled out and when he drove off. It wasn't this timestamp though, but we have watched that. It won't be long here. You're going to hear them say Murphy's name. So at this point, Bethany's already gotten a visit from Maddie. Bethany is very much awake right now. We should hear them yell Murphy's name any minute. So I'm pretty sure I only have this to like 3 o'clock. Heard it? Something shuts. Watch the lights. They're about to do something. It's about to look like somebody walks in front of headlights. There's a person walking right there. But he goes in here. That's that door shutting. It's just got lag. I'm waiting for the lights. It should do it any second. This should be almost over. The rest of this video is the body cam stuff I put together. Okay, see, they're starting to move. Okay. So again, it sounds like they found Murphy. What time was it? I don't want to miss it. I forgot the timestamp where I put the Murphy thing in here. Right here. So at 2:57:27, 3 minutes after Bethany gets a call and a visit, and she doesn't say a damn word about them finding the dog. How are you down there awake watching TV and you don't hear them finding the dog? Nothing is said. Nothing is said. Okay. I don't know why, but nothing is said. Okay. So now we're going to watch the cameras. What I went in here and did is I took pieces of them going upstairs, seeing Murphy. They shut the door. Then we have Gunderson going in, grabbing Murphy, taking him down, letting Eric Warner hold on to him for a little bit. Then he comes back and he gets him, and then he transfers him over to Olson. So I'm going to let this play, and I'm going to go and pull up all of the reports so that we can go through all of the reports that talk about the dog going to the animal shelter. Thank you for the $1.99 super sticker, Natasha. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, let me go ahead and start playing this.
Please start it. 134, coming up.
Oh, that's really loud. I need to stop upping the volume so much on stuff, I guess.
You got another. No, please start it. Dude, We're clear. Let me just secure the outside first. So do the front door. There's the back entry. I was going to start taping it all off. Trying to take the outside off. You're right.
This seems so loud. And there are pieces of this that are muted. Remember that from the...
House was cleared off. I got him there. Shut the door in there. Oh, man.
Welcome, Tracy. Welcome.
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
Listen to this part. Because right here, Gunderson himself says that he is fully aware that Jack Jakor is claiming to be part owner of the dog. But then at the end of this video, when he goes and he hands the dog over to Olson, he literally says to Olson that they don't know who the owner of the dog is. Which isn't entirely true because they've heard from several people that whose dog it belongs to. But I also understand at this point why they would be behaving that way. It's just the simple fact that after this, they didn't forensically comb the dog, collect anything from the dog, or do anything else that pisses me off for them doing things like this, because it makes pretty much all of their caution null and void when they didn't do shit.
Apparently his dog is the dog upstairs.
See?
The guy. Yeah. So I'm going to go collect the dog. You actually want to come and do that? And then give let's get a leash for Mitch.
I have one in my car.
Well, his car's right here, though. Hey, Mitch. You have a leash in your car?
Oh, thank you, Fawn. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I get it.
Jack for a second.
Speak to someone about what's going on?
Yeah, give me just a second, man. I understand your dog's upstairs.
I'm not worried about my dog. I'm worried about what happened. I don't know anything.
Okay, well, we'll get with you in a minute, man. I apologize. It's kind of a chaotic moment, okay? Everyone, you shut the door to this so that the dog didn't go in there. What's up? Yeah, we got him.
You check that there?
They cleared the house. I didn't clear the house. Ready? We'll let you get photos first.
And not calling the Goncalveses. Kaylee was such a brat because she didn't want to be with Jack right there. And she was going to eventually go back and eventually they were going to get married. But old Jackie boy is sitting in the back of the cop car listening to everything, not answering phone calls, not calling the Goncalveses, telling them what they're hearing. Let's keep that in mind because they sure the hell say that they called Kaylee's phone, Maddie's phone, and Jack's phone and wasn't getting any answers. Well, like nobody took Jack's phone. So he's sitting back there listening to all this shit and he's not answering the phone for the Goncalveses. He's right there in front of the house. No communication. Keep that part in mind too. Thank you for the 999 conspiring. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm out of here. Come here, puppy.
Legit.
Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Come on. You can go outside. Come on.
Yeah, that part.
Come on.
It's in his pocket. You can see it when he's standing up.
I got the dog.
He's definitely got it on him.
Come on.
Poor little Murphy. I wish animals could talk, bro. That's the technology they need to work on. You know how much shit would be solved if they could go back into a dog's memory?
Justin Olsen's going to come pick this dog up and take it to the pound for us. Come on. You want to hold on to him? Do you want to?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Now, this is just 3x'd until the dog gets taken. Just to show how many. He sat there with Werner for like 6-ish minutes or so. See, he's down there. He can hear everyone crying. He can hear people talking. He's trying to figure out what's going on. He's looking at everyone. His ears are perked up. At some point, he even puts his paws up on Xana's car right here. Is trying to get like a view. Now, Officer Warner's cams are still cams that we need to go over in full. He just has a lot of snorting and mouth noises in his stuff because he's literally at this door for like hours. And I took most of it out, and I know there's another section that came out more recently where he's on the phone with his wife talking about the case that Connor put out. So one of these nights, we'll sit here for a couple hours and go through all the Warner's cam. We need to get all that stuff pretty much done soon. He's mouth breathing and noises everywhere, and it's just too much. It's just too much. I mean, I'm sure it's cold and it sucks, but I don't want to hear all that. See, he's just trying to figure out what's going on. Poor dude. They're like kids, like little bitty kids. They have brains like toddlers. They compute. They can understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Now
people
Gunnarsson is going to take him off to Olsen. He's so fluffy.
Thank you so much, dude.
Okay, listen, he's going to say that he doesn't know who it is. Mine too. Especially my girl dog. Oh my God.
And early reports are that they saw somebody come in the house with a mask on and heard screaming. So we had a pretty good timeline on what happened. And any of these people sitting here, a couple of them were in the house. It happened. So, holy fuck, dude. Good. Well, thank you again. No problem. Do you need anything? So, yeah, we'll do. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. We don't know who the owner yet is. Like, I couldn't tell you, so you can just tell them not release it until we train them. Like that on the phone. Yeah.
See that, and that's not true. He's like, oh, I couldn't tell you who the owner is. That's not true. But that's fine. Okay. So I could not find Officer Olsen's report, but I have all the rest of them. maybe I just like missed it for some reason, but we've got all the rest, and we have the little animal control thing. So this is the one. Now that we've switched media, I have to make this bigger. Hold on. Okay. Get me out of the way this way. Make me tiny. Okay. So when it comes to the first one, this is sequence number 4, written by Snyder. He's the one that you see wrapping all of the crime scene tape all together. I put this one in here because he actually talks to Jack Jacor first. We do see on the 1112 cams too when Jack Jacor comes out from his house and goes down to that area. And then we do see on Snyder's body cam when he speaks to Jack. I just didn't want to put all that extra footage stuff in there because we've already seen it and it's literally just nothing. So this is where he says, as I was down the road of the address near King Road and Queen, I was approached by a college-aged male who identified himself as, we know this to be Jack. He informed me he lived at blank King Road apartment blank, which is obviously that house that's on the camera that we can see. He stated his blank, which is ex-girlfriend, lived upstairs at 1122 King Road, and they shared a dog that was there currently. Jack did not appear to have any obvious wounds on his hands, as I would assume the suspect possibly would. Officer Nunes was interviewing subjects about the situation. I asked Jack if he would wait inside Officer Nunes' police car so we could talk to him. He agreed to. I informed Sergeant Gunderson of the circumstances involving Jack. Jack later responded to the police department to be interviewed and then picked up the dog from the Moscow Humane Society shelter. So we have Snyder already aware that at the time that he's writing his report that the dog was picked up. Okay, so that's report number 1. The next one I want to look at is report number 123. And you know what? Actually, let me for those of you who don't have it, welcome back, Miss Mojo. Welcome back. Welcome back. For those of you who don't have it, this is the Idaho v. Kohberger folder that looks like this. These are the only ones that I still have to like put in. Plus I'm going in and getting some other documents and going in and fixing the folders. Here's the link for the drive if you want to follow along with what we're doing, so that you can see the reports if you don't have them. So there's the drive for that. So this one that we're going to go down to is report number 123, and it's page 255. Okay, this is Tyson Barrett. Okay, Tyson Barrett says down here, let's see. It says right here, Sergeant Gunderson told me a dog was taken out of Kaylee Goncalves' room and transported to the Humane Society for safekeeping. He told me it didn't appear the dog had gone into the rooms where the murders were committed because it didn't have any visible blood on its body. And then if you go down here, it says, I returned to the police department and Jack Jacor approached me asking if I could release the dog Murphy to him. He said he and Kaylee Goncalves both owned the dog. At that point, I was busy working with detectives and administration and didn't release the dog. He then talks to Corporal Payne, who interviewed Jack Jacor. He said Jacor had been in a relationship with Kaylee. He just tells them a couple of other things. Then he goes back and talks to Jacor again because later on in that afternoon, Jacor went back up to him and asked again, can I get my dog? He says, I called Captain Lanier, who was with Sergeant Gunderson outside of 1122 King Road. Captain Lanier confirmed with Sergeant Gunderson that they understood Jacor co-owned the dog and the dog was taken to the animal shelter for safekeeping. I was told the dog was uninjured and didn't have any blood on it. I agreed to release Murphy to Jacor because it was my understanding we had only taken the dog into custody for safekeeping and he was an owner. I asked to have a patrol officer meet Jacor at the animal shelter to release the dog. So this is being orchestrated by multiple people at this point. This is Lanier, this is Gunderson, and this is Barrett, all having a conversation on top of a conversation also being had with Payne about Jack Ducour, about Murphy, and about him going down and getting the dog. So then I want to show you report number 132, which is from Rosenthal, and it's on page 273. And it's just little tiny. It's just a little tiny report. And it just says, on 11/13/22 at around 1800 hours, I was tasked with releasing a dog from the Humane Society to its owner, Jack Ducour. The dog has been transported earlier in the day from 1122 King Road to the Humane Society by LCSO Deputy Olson. I released the dog to Ducour without incident and gave the impound paperwork to Captain Lanier. That's the paperwork that I have FOIA'd because it is not the pink slip that we have been seeing going around. I do have also, and I should have put this up here, I do have Gunderson's report where he does specifically state that he does ask Officer Olson to respond and assist by taking the dog to the Humane Society, but it really just wasn't even important, to be honest, because we watched it on the body cam. Now I'm going to show you the Humane Society slip that we did get. And again, this is in the folder that I just showed you guys. So this is at 12:59, almost 1 p.m. He's being put in kennel number 11 and he's dropped off by Officer Olson. This is not the paperwork that we want. We want the paperwork from Rosenthal where he lets Murphy go with Jack and then he takes the paperwork and he gives it to Captain Lanier. So hopefully they answer that FOIA and they give it to me. Now we're going to go to Connor's channel and we're going to listen to the Humane Society call that he just put out 2 days ago. I think it was actually being made on, I think, which is still interesting because 6 p.m. is when they went down there to actually get the dog, which is like hella late in the freaking evening. So we're going to listen to this. I don't have to be tiny for this one because it's like not even a video. So I can fix this real quick. The only thing that this seems to me is a bad lack of communication, which with the way that we've seen them actually like handle this case, them not communicating with each other to where this ends up being a problem, even though we have multiple people orchestrating the picking up of the dog, multiple officers talking about it, and it still ended up being this kind of big, huge cluster F. It really doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's Moscow. What do you expect? What do you expect? Oh, thank you for the $1.99 and the $3.99, Miss Mojo. And you joined. Oh, look at you. And the $4.99 super sticker. My gosh. Thank you so much, Miss Mojo. What does Calypso want? She's the only one that meows. What does she want? I hear her. Give me a second. I have to go check on my cat. That sounds ridiculous. Let me go see what she's doing. Hold on. She was mad because Don left her in the room by her little self. You okay now? You okay now? Okay. Well, I got to open my bathroom door because she likes to go into my closet. Here we go. You can go in the closet now. She likes to get on the top of the closet like a damn gargoyle and give me a heart attack is what she likes to do. I knew I heard her crying for something in there by herself. Poor baby. Now she's going to go over there and bother Zelda. Okay. We're going to listen to this call so that we can hear what they said. There is a little bit of silence in this. I'll try to go through it so we can get past it. But y'all see all the paperwork. Like it's on body cam. There's paperwork in the reports about the dog. It's just lack of communication. This is the only reason why this call happened. But I still want to know how it happened this way. Because Chick or whoever's in this call is basically saying that they were like around all day, blah, 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 blah. Well, then how did you miss 2 people coming in and getting a dog? If that's the case. And I really want to know, like, does the kennel not have cameras? Like, I know that in the report, it says that Rosie didn't turn on his BWC, but does the shelter itself not have cameras? Because you totally, you would think that they would. Okay, let's just go ahead and play this.
5:28 p.m., 19/2, November 13, 2022.
So this is like a few minutes before, because he sure says in his report that it is 6 o'clock, right? What page was that? 273. Yeah, he says around 1800 hours. So this 911 call about the dog being missing is 30 minutes before he's claiming that he goes down there and gets the dog. I mean, we know Jack has the dog, so that's why this shit don't make no sense. Okay, let's listen.
5:28 p.m., 19/2, November 13, 2022.
Police and Fire. Hi, this is Megan with the Humane Society of the Palouse. I needed to find out if a Moscow police officer had come in and removed a dog that was being held here.
I'm gonna ask for
When
the
would
camera.
what's that? When would that have been? It would have been in between like 4 p.m. and now.
I'm just going to assume that when Rosie wrote his report that he was a dumbass, because it says in the report that it wasn't written until 1/29/23. That's red flag number uno. Okay. And then it just says around 1800, but also no body worn camera. So unless there's some sort of dispatch for this, then he might just have his time in this report. Ma'am, don't start with me. He might just have this time in his report wrong and maybe picked up the dog like right before, and this person was maybe, I don't know, on a smoke break outside somewhere or in another room on a break or something and just didn't notice somehow. It's the only thing I could think of. I'll look at me like she crazy. Yeah. Where are you going? Where are you going? Okay. Yeah, there's some silence while they're trying to figure stuff out. All her meowing woke up Zelda. Now Zelda's looking at her with her evil eye. Yeah, I think Rosie just had the time wrong. That's what I think. Trying to get past the silence.
Okay. Okay, I just confirmed none of our officers checked out there today. Okay, we had I don't know who to call because Latah County Sheriff's impounded a dog with us, but they impounded the dog from campus and they said that we couldn't release the dog until MPD gave us permission to release the dog. Like they didn't know who it belonged to, but we couldn't release the dog to an owner or anything. And now the dog's gone, and I've been here all day. Okay, that's definitely odd.
Who did it say they were calling? Hold on.
5:28 p.m., 19/2, November 13, 2022.
Police and Fire. Hi, this is Megan.
Okay, so like,
but it's like a male like doodle. But I've been here all day. The dog's been inside. I don't know if the padlock was locked on his kennel, but the only people with keys to the building are police officers.
Okay, so that just tells me that Rosie has the wrong time in his report, because if cops definitely have a key and this person, whoever's making this call, was just not doing their job or was just not the person that he got the paperwork from. I mean, I don't know what else to think other than they all just are really nonchalant about their job and don't really take it all that serious, is how it sort of just sounds to me.
I don't know who to call, because Latah County Sheriff's impounded a dog with us, but they impounded the dog from campus, and they said that we couldn't release the dog until MPD gave us permission to release the dog.
Thank you for the $4.99 chance. And y'all don't forget, half of everything that gets donated, even with the super stickers, it's going to go to Connor so that he can get those 8 Sigma frat guy interviews in the next 7 days, which means that if he's able to go ahead and get the money within the next few days, he should have them in the next week. I feel like it won't take that long after they get paid. So just keep that in mind. Everything I get, half is going to go to Connor so we can finally get those freaking interviews.
Like they didn't know who it belonged to, but we couldn't release the dog to an owner or anything. And now the dog's gone, and I've been here all day.
I sound kind of like bubble-headed, like a college student.
Okay, that's definitely odd. So let me just get this straight. So Latah County picked up a dog on the U of I campus?
There's paperwork. According to the report, paperwork was handed over to Captain Lanier. So that's why I'm asking specifically. And here recently, I'm not playing games with, oh my God, you're not being specific enough. I know how I write FOIAs, for one. So for 2, I'm copying and pasting the damn report. Like I'm typing out what I'm needing and I'm doing my normal thing. And then at the bottom, I say, the report reads as follows. And then I put quotations and I copy and paste the damn report into my damn FOIA request. So when it says that he took his paperwork from the impound office and gave it to Captain Lanier, I put that very specific verbiage in there. And if they come back and they try to tell me that there's no paperwork, well, then you have a false police report, and what are y'all going to do about it? Probably nothing, because they've done shit about shit the whole time. But at least they'll know one more thing is wrong. And again, they won't care.
Correct. And they said that,
No.
I don't know if they were just bringing it in for MPD, but they said not to release the dog until MPD gave us permission. So he didn't say what the situation was. But it's like a male, like doodle. But I've been here all day. The dog's been inside. I don't know if the padlock was locked on his kennel, but the only people with keys to the building are police officers.
So does Latah County also have keys?
She tripping.
I think they usually pick it up from you guys, but they might.
Okay. So before I put in a call, I'm going to transfer you over to Latah County. I'll stay on the line. So if none of their officers did it, then they can hang up and you and I can put in a call.
Okay.
But yeah, just go ahead and ask them. Like I said, I'll still be here in the background. You just won't hear me.
Okay, because, I don't have the impound number either, because the impound form was sitting on the desk in the office, and that is gone also.
So that tells me that the paperwork was taken probably by Rosendahl, and that's the paperwork that was handed over to Lanier, is probably that portion of it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes me think it might have been one of the deputies, but we can.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll ask. They're just built different dispatchers than us.
If you could transfer me, that'd be great.
Sure.
I don't know what you're dealing
Hi,
with.
this is Megan with the Humane Society here in Moscow. We had a dog impounded by a Latah County Sheriff officer earlier today, and the dog was impounded from the U of I campus, even though the county brought it in, and he told me that we weren't allowed to release the dog until MPD gave us permission. But I've been here all day and the dog is suddenly gone, and so is the impound form. So I was wondering if a deputy had like come by and picked up the dog for some reason.
Not that I'm aware of. Let me put you on hold and double check, okay?
Okay.
See, the problem with all of this and why nobody knows shit about shit is because all of the officers are talking amongst themselves and they're not including the people that need to be included. It's raining and I always crack the window a little bit so she can like smell all of the outside, especially with the rain. And I think that's why she's tripping a little bit more than normal. She hasn't acted like a psychopath in quite a while. But it sounds like they all didn't communicate with who they needed to communicate with. It sounds like Barrett spoke with Payne. He called Gunderson. He talked to Lanier. And then one of them dispatched Rosendahl out there. I don't know who chose him to go out there. Did it say on the report? No. Oh, where'd it go? What report? Where'd it go? 273. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it doesn't say who told him to go out there, but his report was reviewed by Gunderson. So maybe Gunderson is the one that sent him out there. You're not going out there, baby. Come on. She might step on a key. Yep. Woo! Yep. She's stepping on stuff already. What are you doing? You gotta calm down. I'll hold you like a baby. Calm your butt down. You're okay. The rain's driving her crazy. It's okay. You're okay. You hear the rain? Why didn't they just like instantly call MPD and like speak to a captain? Ask for Lanier, ask for Barrett. Like, why didn't they call them directly? The people. Yeah, I gotta pat her butt like she's a baby. Calm her butt down. She's spoiled. She has all her little favorite places. Didn't take her long. You good now? You just calm your booties. They waiting forever for them people to answer, huh? You good? Yeah. Are they ever gonna answer the phone? Skip. She doesn't get nervous hearing the rain. She just wants to be outside more when it rains because you can smell the nature more.
Was any of their...
Okay, here we go.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, so none of our deputies came and got it, and I just called over to Moscow, and they don't know of any of their officers that went to retrieve it, but they're going to try to follow up further with their deputies on that incident, or with their officers on that incident.
On the incident itself.
Okay, yeah, I called them first. They probably told you that.
Yeah, I've been on the line here the whole time while I transferred her, just because none of our officers are dealing with the incident off campus all day. Yeah. So that's why I asked her to check if Latah County had went back there. I will go ahead and put in a call though, and you could hang up if you wanted to, Latah County. Okay, sounds good.
Okay, you gonna go now? You gonna calm down now? Okay. I'll let you go.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, my coworker was me. Okay.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Sorry, give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Yeah, she's pretty chill. Where she went? She's going somewhere. She go in the closet? Yeah. My big dog does that with my son.
Okay, what's the phone number you're calling from?
208-883-1166.
Yeah, very disorganized.
And what's your first and last name?
Megan Clampett.
Can you spell your last name, please?
Yep. CLAMPITT.
Okay, give me just 1 second. Oh, never mind, somebody else grabbed it. Okay, what kind of dog was it?
It was some kind of like poodle mix. It was like a doodle. It was a male, neutered, wearing like an orange vandal collar. Or I don't remember if it was orange, but it definitely said like it had like the U of I Vandals thing on it.
Okay. What color was the dog?
Like white, like beige.
Definitely nowhere near white.
Okay. And full disclosure, this might not be dealt with tonight. The Moscow officers are hung up on something, and if that's the case, somebody will be in contact tomorrow.
So that's like a really stupid ass statement to make, because what they're all like caught up on literally has everything to do with this dog. Like, has she not put that together yet? I guess this person has not put together that this dog is from the crime scene. This is just a major lack of communication.
I will put it in here, but they might just have to put it on hold due to other things going on.
Okay.
She's like,
okay.
And then, what is, is that phone number you gave me your cell phone or the business?
This is the business number.
Okay.
I can give you my cell number too, though, because I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna be near the phone, and if.
Okay. Go ahead with your phone number. Okay. I will put this call in, and like I said, they will get to it as soon as they can.
Okay. Should we? I guess I'm wondering, because we were like told not to release the dog, and if we should be publicly looking for the dog or wait to talk to an officer.
I would wait to talk to an officer.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
5:33 p.m. 48 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty much convinced that it's just a really shitty communication system. I mean, look at what we've seen. Look at what we've seen in the FOIA office. They had pieces of the 11/12 camera footage in different folders. That Amber girl and Tim Smaldridge physically together had to get together and go track down the 12:55 to 2:25 time frame because it wasn't with the rest of the footage. And then there's also, what was it? I was looking through the reports earlier. There was something that had to do with, they had like some Kohberger files in there and like a couple other files that Brett Payne had like put all of these like descriptions for in this report. And it says he just throws them in a folder labeled Maori. They're different things. One of them is about a phone. One of them is something with video. There's like a couple other things. They're like not all Kohberger like in the title, but like different things. And he just throws them in a Maori folder. No organization whatsoever. So this just seems like no one can communicate. They're all in way over their heads. None of the officers told the animal control people that the dog could be released. it's just poor communication. I feel like it's just really bad communication. Thank you for the $6.99. Animals are our angels. I appreciate that. And thank you for the $4.99 sausage biscuits. I eat sausage biscuits all the time. We cook that all the time and make some gravy. Oh my God, it's so good. Thank you for the $4.99. Chance, husband and I have been watching you orchestrate this shit show since day one. Thank you. Keep it up. I'm sure trying. Oh my God. Thank you for the $10, Miss W. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate that. Did you see my comment on the live from 2 days ago? No, I'll have to go back and see. I'll have to go back and check it. Where's my thing? Okay. Yeah, I really feel like it's just really shitty in like organization because we've got all of the paperwork. We've got all of the reports of all of the conversations being had about the dog being given back to Jack. So it's not like Jack met up with Rosie and just because he's like an MPD officer, he asks him about the dog and Rosie's like, yeah, sure, bro, let's go get your dog. And like nobody else is involved. Again, we have Barrett being spoken to directly by Jack Jacor twice at the police department. He speaks to Officer Payne about Jack Jacor's interview. Then he calls and speaks to Captain Lanier and Sergeant Gunderson that are at the scene at 11:22 before then dispatching Rosenthal out to the shelter. So if they would have actually like dispatched it over the radio, then the chick that answered the phone for this call would have heard that. Right? Like, because that's like the dispatch office, that's Whitcomb. They would have heard that. Or if somebody would have just done their real job and just been like, hey, heads up, we're going to go ahead and send an officer out there to release the dog. But nobody did any of that, which should have been done. But I feel like it's just crap communication. It took me a while. Oh, thanks for the 5, Miller Time. It took me a while, but I finally found the video where the welfare check is talked about. It's in the video dated July 23rd, 2025. 10 minutes and 44 seconds in. Okay. Well, I'll say this. If it's anything to do with 11:22, then Moscow's going to tell me that it doesn't exist. I'm going to write that down. You said 7:23. Because I asked them in a FOIA for any calls for 11:22 for like 6 months prior to this. And she told me that it was just the 3 noise complaints. That's all. That's what she told me. And that's why I ended up nulling and voiding welfare call. That's why I ended up nulling and voiding my FOIA for that because we have all 3 of the body cams for the noise complaints. And I asked her specifically, are you sure? And she said, yeah, that it was just the 3 noise complaints, and that was it. So I can ask again if that's there. I'll go back and see what you're talking about. But I asked them for anything when it came to calls to 11:22. And they definitely told me that they don't have anything but those noise complaints. Oh, thank you for the 10 Miller Time. You didn't have to do that. MPD records release first responder reports from 11:22 King Road preview. Okay. Yeah, I have it written down. So it must be something I'm reading in one of the reports then. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and if it's something that I can maybe get from them, that I want to get it from them if it is something. But I just know that I asked them. Oh, did y'all need my email? I know that because she knows she's stupid. Coming out here with all your bullshit. How are you going to sit there and tease that you have information for weeks, push it back and push it back and push it back, and then get on the live, be so disorganized, make no sense whatsoever, and then while you're on the live say, oh, I've got to text her for permission to even say this. What? I just can't. I can't. I can't. All right, here, let me put this up here. Okay. Okay, there's my email. Oh, what did I miss? What did I miss? Oh, thank you for being here for 8 months. Thank you for being here for 8 months, JLL. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you for the 49 wit. My question is still, did AT get all the hidden paperwork and videos that you got? I'm going to say that I assumed that she did, simply because there's that section from when they were still in Latah County where she's standing up and she's telling us, well, telling the court, telling Judge, that it's the first time that we saw or heard them talking about how everything was in bits and pieces and having to be stitched together. She mentions there that there's audio missing. My question is, where did it go? I have huge issues with how all of that became muted because of all of the different hands that were in that cloud before MPD got access. And even though we see the girl give Gunderson the SD card, we all know from going through the reports that doesn't mean anything. He wanted to do all this stupid fancy schmancy shit that wasn't necessary when all he had to do was simply log in. He didn't have to have their freaking Wi-Fi server with him over at MPD. All of these random freaking people were logging into that cloud and reviewing footage that were not in that house. So I don't know why. Only thing I can think of is that Mallory really isn't certified in shit. And he thinks that he has to go around and do all of this technical dumb shit for nothing. You don't need to undo somebody's freaking Wi-Fi modem and router and bring it with you to get into a security system that has a cloud access. He did all of that shit and acted like, oh my God, none of this equipment is working. I have to go back and forth and for nothing. At the end of the day, all he did was log into the cloud on his freaking work cell phone and was able to access everything. All of that shit for nothing. Because he's dumb and he doesn't know what to do and he doesn't know his job. That's why he's going around and doing all of the extra dumb shit that's not going anywhere because he's trying to compensate for not having the actual knowledge. Prove me wrong. I would love somebody to. 6 days. 6 days before he finally sat down and logged in and got the footage. How many people in 6 days messed with that cloud? We know for a fact Jack Ducour is the reason why the Goncalveses ended up with that footage. Steve said it himself. So how am I supposed to just trust that somebody in that house gave the access to, that Jack himself, that the Goncalveses themselves, how am I supposed to trust that somebody didn't go in there when you've got access to the account with the password? I don't know what you can do. Can you go in there and mute full sections of time while leaving all of the rest alone? Maybe. I don't know. I don't use that system. I don't know what they're doing. But the simple fact that so many people had access to it and the most important part of the entire thing is muted, I'm sorry, we don't see a damn thing about MPD using their brains and going in and seeing who all accessed this shit and from what IP. That's what we should be seeing. We should be seeing a full-on ass report from a search warrant being issued to that company for every single login IP since whatever time frame on the 13th. Who all had access? How many dozens of people were probably given the password? Because you have to remember what the report said. Somebody went out there and removed the camera off 1112, and then all of a sudden the cops are getting contacted saying, oh, I was looking at the footage and then you removed the camera. Oh, by the way, did you look at that car at 4 o'clock? That's where SV1 came from. Whoever the dude was that contacted Mallory about his access being interrupted is the one that told them about the 4 o'clock car. Yeah, I find that important. I find that super important. Thank you for the gifted memberships, Grumpy Gills. I appreciate that. Thank you. Congratulations to those who got those. I agree. Full-heartedly. I agree. Stay over her. Staying over her. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to trust. I don't trust that. I don't trust that at all. This case has been pissing me off since the beginning. That's why I'm still here. Because there's no answers. No answers. I hope they do. I hope they do. I finished the video going about the plaintiff's response about the venue change. I'll probably post that one in the morning. No, they did though, Love Tina. No. They did. She took out her SD card in Gunderson's body cam. I'm pretty sure I put it on a video already. You can see she walks out and she hands him boop, in his hand the SD card. And he goes and he puts it in his car. The problem is that Mallory's stupid and he thinks that he has to have all of this special shit to do stuff when all he had to do was log in. And the crazy stupid part is that he had the login information on day one. Like Gunderson got the card, brought it to the police officer, like brought it to the police department. But then Mallory ended up actually physically going out there the same day and he gets the login information from the girl. And he still chooses not to use it. He still chooses to act like, oh, I have to go out there and grab their internet box. Oh, I have to go out there and have the same Wi-Fi hooked up at the police department to make sure that I can access everything. No, you don't, you stupid clown. You wasted all of that time and allowed all of these people. And I will say he allowed it because if he would have gone in and got everything when he was given the information on day one, then it wouldn't matter who else had gone in there at that point and looked at it. The original would be the original. This is 6 days later. He's finally gone in and downloaded everything from using his work phone. I can't trust that somebody didn't go in there and do some shit. So again, considering the fact that we have such a massive amount that's freaking muted, I don't know why they didn't want to go in there and find out why. Because Mr. Technical, I know everything, should be able to figure out why it's not working. And if he can't, well, then the company should be able to figure out what's wrong. We don't see any search warrants. We don't see any communications with that company. We see no questions. I would be instantly, like I just said, filing and asking for every single login IP from 11:13. Let's just say, frick it, at 12:55 when they're claiming that it starts. I would want login information from 12:55 forward. Show me the IP addresses, the locations, give it all to me. I don't want to know. I don't know why they didn't bother. I don't know why they didn't bother. But I want to know who muted it because there were so many people that had access. And I don't remember the exact date, but I'm pretty positive that according to what Steve has said, it was either that exact same day later on that evening or the next day on the 14th that Jack Decor was able to secure them the camera information. Yeah, no, he could have had that same day. He messed around too much. Too late. I don't know if it's too late. I think they could probably subpoena it. Like, I don't see why they couldn't serve a search warrant and ask them now. I don't know how long they keep their information. Maybe it's like taxes and they got to keep it for like 7 years. I don't know. But you would think that they would want to know, especially when a guy is being interrupted and letting you know that he was logged in and watching it and he's like someone's brother. Like, he's not even the brother of the girl who actually owned the camera system. He's the brother of a girl that also lives there. Why are you watching it? Why are you watching it? It's just a lot. Just a lot. I want to skip being a law enforcement officer. I think I should be able to work at a police department and be a detective and use my brain without me having to freaking carry my fat ass across an obstacle course. I'm not trying to chase no bad guy down. I'm not trying to do none of that shit. I'm not trying to be in the streets. I'm trying to be there at my desk looking through evidence and trying to tell y'all who y'all need to go after. So no, I would never want to be a police officer. I want to skip that. I want to sit at my desk and use my brain. And I'm literally trying, like, I'm not even kidding. I've been actively trying to find a job like that will let me skip over the cop thing. I'm trying to figure it out because my degree is in criminal forensic, like, investigative science. But I only have the associates. I need the next step, the bachelor's, in order to really like get into a good lab to work. So like right now, I really just want to like look at evidence. And I think I should be able to do that. I should be able to do that. I shouldn't have to be a beat cop and run an obstacle course and carry a gun and give traffic tickets. I should not have to do that step to then be a detective. But it seems like they want you to follow this process. And I just think that's stupid. And, you know, I broke the mold in so many things that I've gotten myself into. So I'll probably end up breaking the mold for that too. Because if I'm determined enough, I usually can. Damn it. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't want to be a private investigator just yet because it's a lot more dangerous than being an actual detective. And my youngest is just too young, but it is on the list. And you know, Steve Fisher, some people don't like him. I think he's fine. Steve Fisher has just become licensed in Texas, so that I know that when I am like ready for that, all I got to do is call Steve and he can give me all the tips and all the advice and tell me exactly what I need to do. Because I got his number and I'll just ask him, okay, what's step one, bro? When I'm ready, I know I can just handle it. But he's tiny. Don is just too tiny. He's about to be 8. He'll be 8 in a couple weeks. I just feel like he's too little. I don't want some crazy shit to happen because ain't nobody else can take care of him. I'm literally like the only real adult that can handle him, be around him. Like my sister has a little boy. She'd take him. My dad's old. He's like in his mid 70s. We don't have anything to do with his father's side of the family. And as messed up as they raised his father, I wouldn't want them to. And that's the kind of stuff I think about. Stepping into that field. Who's going to take care of them if something happens? So I got a few more years. But I'm determined to be a damn detective. It's going to happen eventually. Steve Fisher's a private investigator. He gets into a lot of cases. I first met him in the Kylie Rodney case, and then he did a lot of stuff with the Celeste case right here. He was the private investigator that was hired by the homeowner in the David and Celeste Rivas Hernandez case, the singer guy and the 15-year-old that he did horrible things to and left in the trunk of a Tesla. He's worked a lot of different cases. He did a lot of stuff in the Sebastian Rogers case too. I think the family on the mom's side, was it Chris and Katie? He did some searching over there for Sebastian Rogers too. He has drones and he gets certified in all kinds of different things. He goes on crazy hikes. He goes out in the middle of the Arizona desert. He's done a lot of crazy searches. I think he's found like 35 people. Yeah. He's done a lot, yeah. He's very blunt, like I am. So he doesn't hold back. When he has a issue, him and Bullhorn Betty go off on each other all the time. Like she can't stand him. He hates her. It's actually that's like entertainment, watching them two argue. Watching them two argue is hilarious. So yeah. Oh, thank you for the 10 again, Grumpy Gills. Thank you. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. But I'm glad we finally went through the timeline. And hopefully I get that information. I definitely filed that FOIA. I think it was earlier today. I filed the one for the inmate video yesterday, and then I filed the one for the text messages between Dylan and Bethany and Sergeant Blaker, and the paperwork that Rosenthal apparently gave over to Lanier. I asked for that today because I'm going to be really pissed, like straight up. I'm going to be really mad if the pink slip that has Olson's name on it is the only piece of paper that there is, and that's the paper that was missing from the desk and got given to Lanier, because that's not signing the dog out. That's not you having your name on it. That's not Jack signing the dog out. Like, that's not paperwork to me. So I will have an issue with that. I mean, there was no reason for them not to forensically clean that dog. There wasn't. It doesn't matter to me that he was clean. The second they knew that there was an 8-hour delay between the situation and the 911 call, how clean that dog looked shouldn't have mattered. They should have instantly had someone going in, and there's literally forensic veterinarians that can go in there and clip dogs' nails a certain way and comb their hair a certain way and collect things. I don't know why they didn't do that. Especially since they called in ISP so quickly. Especially since the FBI was right there. It was very stupid of them, in my opinion. Very stupid of them. Oh, thank you for the 10, Nunya. You have the power now. Give it back. We support you 100%. Just because you're keeping it for real. I'm not buying into the craze of crap. It is crazy as shit out there, isn't it? My God. Yeah, no, I'm determined. When y'all see me out, like on YouTube a lot less, it's because I'm in that type of field, because I don't think I'm going to be able to come out here and really just like talk about stuff all the time if I'm in that field, especially in that field because of what we discuss. So I probably won't say anything directly. But if I just like maybe show up 2 or 3 times a week all of a sudden, I guess that's whenever y'all are know that something's finally shaking. Thank you for the $1.99, Jessica. I appreciate that. Okay, you guys, half of everything you guys donated to me today is going to go to Connor so that we can help him get those damn FOIAs. Because I definitely want to hear what these frat bros got to say. Especially from that party. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. Y'all have a safe Saturday. I hear thunder, and I know there's a bunch of storms and stuff going on this afternoon and this evening going into tomorrow. So y'all do try to be as careful as humanly possible. Thank you for all of the new members and the gifted memberships and the super stickers and the super chats. I'll be tallying up everything and letting y'all know how much we actually are going to be sending over to Connor. Now, I gave him $100 the other day just randomly because we have gotten so much footage from him. And then a couple days later, he put that up on his post. He did say something about me sending something over, but I want to send more over, because he is really just like insane with these FOIAs. There's so much body cam and so many interviews. And I'm telling you, for the majority, his channel has gotten them first. That's how I've always seen them, is they're coming straight from Connor's channel. I'll go ahead. Oh, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships, Miller Time. Thank you. Congratulations to those who got those. I'm gonna let me pull up Connor's channel and give y'all the link really quick. If there's ever something that we go over and I'm not like, and down in the description box is the link to the raw footage to the Google Drive, it's because we got it from Connor and it's his footage. So let me go ahead and show y'all his channel real quick and give y'all the link in case y'all don't have it. Just in case y'all don't have it. Here it is right here. There it is right there. So if y'all want to go and watch any of this stuff without any interruptions, I don't think he's even monetized. I don't think he has any ads. I don't think he's monetized whatsoever, even though he definitely could be. He's got the hours, and I know he's paying for these FOIAs. So maybe he just doesn't want to monetize for some reason. He definitely could monetize and just put ads in the beginning and in the end with no middle ads to not cut anything if he really wanted to, but I don't think his channel is monetized whatsoever. And these FOIAs do cost some crazy ass money. So there's his link right there. So you guys can go over there and check that out. He's done like a really, really good job of getting us a lot of stuff. Again, thank you so much for coming in here and spending y'all's time with me. Hopefully we can get some information from, oh my gosh. Thanks for the $1.99, Jessica. What happened that night based on all the info you have right now? Just your opinion. I think whatever happened that night has something to do with the university, and somebody pissed somebody off. And whoever is involved in it is high up, and for some reason, they're feeling the need to have to cover it up. Now, when it comes to Kohberger's DNA, that's something that I've been actively trying to figure out. That's why I'm trying to do all the FOIAs to try to figure out the timelines for things. That's why the chain of custody for the knife sheath with MPD is so freaking disappointing, because I have issues. With, not only do we have Eric Warner literally claiming in his report that he walks around and checks Maddie's leg for lividity and doesn't say a word about the knife sheath, but then we see the photos and you can see the knife sheath hanging off the bed. So there's no way that Jolly Green Giant can not only not see it from the doorway, but then you're expecting me to believe that you walked all the way around right there next to it to check Maddie's leg for lividity and you don't see a knife sheath? None of y'all see a knife sheath, and then all of a sudden it's in photographs. And we're getting 3 different stories about how it was found. That was already shady as shit enough about how his DNA could have gotten there, because we were trying to figure out, so who saw it first? Where was everybody else's recollection of this knife sheath? That doesn't make any sense. They were all there before Payne. Why are we only getting Payne's recollection? That doesn't make any sense. But then what happened? the forensic records come out. And the forensic records show a resubmission next to the swab that ended up being where Kohberger's DNA actually supposedly came from. So we've got a knife sheath that shows up out of freaking nowhere that the people that are literally walking around and checking the bodies don't see a shit, don't put nothing in their reports. None of them collectively said a damn thing about the knife sheath. Then the Q-tip, the swab, is resubmitted with no paperwork, no paper trail, nothing. I don't know what to think. I just know that whatever happened, this is all happening for a reason. And if it's just as simple as they just like screwed something up, but it's the right guy anyway, I'll never believe that, because it's not just one thing. There's nothing at all in this case that has stayed concrete. We have been lied to from the beginning. And it's not just like the public. Like, okay, cool, the public can be lied to because we know how the cops are. But they've literally lied to the families. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much we disagree with the Goncalveses. At the end of the day, they are the family, one of the families. They should have been given the truth from the beginning. They should have never been withheld anything. They should have been told everything from the very beginning. Nothing should have been held back, especially when it comes to wounds and what everyone looked like and everything collectively that happened. There's no reason for all of this secrecy. There's no reason for all of this secrecy. And then you're going to tell me that the university takes over because Brett Payne, who you for some reason with no real experience in anything, made the lead detective on this case. He's so inept, so incapable, that the university uses him as the reason why they felt the need to step forward, just for y'all to hire him later. That's where Brett Payne went to go work when he was no longer working for MPD. The university, the people that said he wasn't good enough at his job, then hired him. Everything has gotten so freaking convoluted that I don't even know how to get back to like the basics of where it like really all started. Like, was there ever a time when it was just like one question? Maybe two. I don't think so. I think whatever happened had everything to do with Xana and Ethan. I don't think it had anything to do with Maddie. I don't think it had anything to do with Kaylee. I think anything that happened had to do with Xana and Ethan. And I only say that because of how secret everything is around their timeline. Because for the entirety, we were shoved Kaylee and Jack. The two that were no longer together, the two that were going their separate ways, the two that were not dating anymore. That's what was shoved in our face. Not the real couple, not the people that were actually still together, not the ones that were still happily together and not broken up at all. We were shoved the lie in our face. And everything became about Kaylee. Everything became about Kaylee. This shit ain't got shit to do with Kaylee. I don't think this has a damn thing to do with Kaylee. I think Kaylee and all of that was used as a distraction from the truth. And I think that the Chapins have a lot to do with the secrecy here. The Goncalveses and all their bullshit, that's just a whole nother level of dumb shit. But I really do believe that whatever happened has something to do with Xana and Ethan, and the Chapins know that, and that's the reason why Stacy moves the way she does. I don't think the Kernodles know. I don't think the Kernodles know at all. I don't think that they have been allowed to know, because we also know the way that the Chapins really thought of Xana. Let's be so serious. So when it comes to them trying to share information, the Kernodles don't know what the Chapins know. But the Chapins had a PR person helping them from day one. It's literally in Stacy's interviews that they had a family friend that was in PR. They had people helping them with this from day one. And then we also see the difference in the reports. When it comes to Brett Payne's report, the very first report that we get from him in the MPD documents, look how much more information is in there about Xana and Ethan, specifically about Ethan. Then we finally get to where the PCA comes out and there's one sentence. And basically it's just letting us know that Ethan existed. That's it. Nothing else. I think that whatever happened has something to do with the university. And I don't know the very specifics of that, I don't. I just have a feeling that it's the university and something to do with Xana and Ethan. That's pretty much how I felt for like years at this point. And obviously I've entertained crime of opportunity when it comes to Kaylee before we knew the truth about her actually still living there and not really being moved out. Like I've entertained a lot of different theories. But I always go back to Xana and Ethan every damn time I go back. It doesn't matter what. I always go back to Xana and Ethan. That's why everything about him being no longer a triplet and now they're twins and all this other bullshit, that's why it pisses me off, because I just know something like deep down inside of my whatever the frick this is telling me they're lying. They know what really happened here. They're covering some shit up. They don't want a reputation tarnished. The Goncalveses are lying for their own reasons. I don't know why. That's just the people they are. Okay, that's just the people they are. You can go on TikTok right now. And Samantha Nelson, who is Steve Goncalves' estranged daughter because he chose Christy over his child, has all these emails from like 2014, 2016, like shit long time ago. And it's her trying to like reach out to Christy, try to get her to talk to her. And Christy is just this narcissistic asshole. And then we see like there's a really disturbing one, honestly, about the reason why one of the kids was named a certain name. And Steve says some really like disturbing shit about what he wanted to name their daughter and the reasonings for why he wanted that name, but he didn't win and Christy got Kaylee's name instead. There's just some stupid shit. Like Steve's a loser. I don't give a shit if he's got money in the bank. I don't care if he does crypto and he goes to some island on vacation. Steve Goncalves is a freaking loser and he's always going to be a loser. He's been a loser since he chose Christy over his child. And Christy's been a loser since she made the man choose her over his own kid. And again, I was a stepmother before I was a mother. Okay. My ex-husband was hella young and stupid because he didn't have a mother who gave a shit and didn't care what he did. He was raised like nobody was raising him. So he had a kid at like 16. Yeah. Like Tanner was like a year old when I met my ex-husband. And when we got together, when he was 17, Tanner was almost 2. I was a stepmom before I was a mother. I don't understand the mentality of a woman who would want to be with a man who didn't want shit to do with his kid. What kind of daddy do you think that he's going to be if he's just going to instantly choose the next piece that comes along over his child? I'll never change my mind about those people. I can still feel for them because they lost a child, but considering the fact that their daughter was brutally murdered and they don't give two shits about the one that is desperately trying to be loved by them, I don't care. That's why I'm not here for them. I'm here for Kaylee's truth because they're not going to tell the truth. They've been lying to us about her from day one for nothing. And that's disgusting behavior. That's disgusting behavior. It's crazy shit. Crazy shit. Again, I appreciate that so much. That's a super, super insane. I'll be sure to let you guys know in the morning how much we end up sending over there to him. That's super, super crazy. Super, super crazy. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, I feel like Kaylee was running from him. Running from all of them. No, there was something about was it like Pippi Longstocking? Some shit. He says something about how he wanted to name their kid after, I think it was Pippi Longstocking, because he used to have such a big crush on her. And like everyone in the comments is like, why in the actual F would you want to name your child after somebody that you had a crush on? That's disgusting. It's still there. Y'all can go see it. Y'all can go see it. It's funkated. I don't Stay away from them people. They weird. Yeah, Ooh's right. They weird. They weird. I do want to try to get information about Ethan's apartment. I wish we knew the exact apartment because we just have like a roundabout location. But I am going to try to get some more information around there. Yeah, that's what he wanted. It's literally in an email he sent to Samantha. And I think it was like 2014, 2016. She's been putting a bunch of stuff up because for some reason people still doubt her. I'm like, how can you look at her face and see how much she looks just like all of them? For one, like, seriously? And then she's got all the proof. She's got all the proof that she's constantly tried to get a hold of them, constantly tried to talk to them. And all Steve ever does is make her feel insignificant and throw a bunch of Bible verses at her. That's it. I did see one. She did send me one message. She ended up posting it like on her actual TikTok page, but she sent me in my inbox on TikTok, she sent me a couple screenshots. There was one that I found really, really sweet that I'll share. I'll post it in my community tab or something tomorrow. But it's back when like Kaylee first met Jack. And she's just like, she's telling her about how she met this boy and about how much in love she is with him. And it's just really cute to go back and read because that was like before they became adults and before we knew their lives. This is like back when she was still like this little love-struck little puppy. You know what I mean? And it's just really cute to read. But that's stuff that like Kaylee was sharing with Samantha. Samantha missed out on being Kaylee's sister. She missed out on being a part of that family. She's just as effed up about this as they are. Granted, I get it. That's their child, but this is also a lost sister. So I understand why Samantha's upset. I understand why she's upset. She looks a lot like Kaylee. She just has dark hair. Yeah, as much of a piece of shit as Steve is, he made gorgeous kids. Go figure, right? It's just hard. It's really hard to have sympathy for people when you know who they are. They've more than shown us who they are. You mean the Cowboys? I wouldn't even know how. How do you FOIA that? How do you FOIA the Cowboys that showed up with no badges and walked around the house for a little while and ignored the news people? Like, I don't even know what wording I would put in for that. I mean, it would be curious to know if somebody at least knew anything. Like, did they have any inkling whatsoever that people were going to be coming out? I'd like to know. I just don't know how to even ask that question. I'd have to figure out how to ask that question. I don't know. Was he? I'll have to go back and look at the faces. I just know that like people went really crazy on that. And like Crime Circus did one video on that where he just like disgusted me with the way that he was talking. And I basically just like never paid attention to the Cowboys again after that. What? He has videos on here? Where? Where? I want to know. Oh, it wasn't just that. No, Stacy literally said that they shut down the whole frat one night, took everyone's phones, and didn't let anybody leave until sunup. Talking about stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. That's crazy. The Mortensen method. He started a company and put it on what? I'm sorry. He's a math teacher? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Is that what y'all are trying to tell me? That he does homeschool math? How do we know this is him? Hold on. This is a California company. Copyright 2035. What? Okay, so it's that instead. Like, I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, it's just showing me that he does homeschool math. See, the Mortensen method, and it's math. So this can't be what y'all are talking about. That can't be what y'all are talking about. Oh, welcome, Felicia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, they live in Skagit County, or however you say it. That's why the WSU lawsuit was filed there. That's not a rumor, it was true. It's in the forensic reports. He is literally on line number 1 as the suspect number 1. That's not a rumor. Okay, let me type in that then. Oh God. Is he serious? That's him, isn't it? He's had this since October 2nd, 2010. Okay, I guess we're going to have to watch one of these. What the frick did y'all just get me into now? Okay. Get rid of this math stuff. When did this come out? Does it say? Just last December.
The biggest lie that our emotions tell us is that we are alone when you're processing trauma. You're not alone. There are people out there that are doing the same thing. That's one reason why I started doing what I'm doing, is helping others made me feel amazing. It made me feel like I was taking control of my life and making a difference in others one step at a time. Keep moving forward. The biggest lie that...
What the F?
If you've been through trauma, there's one thing you have to know. You are not alone. There are a lot of people...
Okay, so just going to repeat yourself. You can't use that on here.
A lot of people processing trauma feel like they have to conquer everything right now. That's how I felt, and I still feel that way sometimes. And that's not true. The most important part about processing trauma and moving through the pain is consistent small steps every day. Whenever you get into analysis paralysis, move, take a step, walk.
And what qualifications does he have for this stuff? No, that's definitely him. That's definitely his face. Yeah, he apparently posted the first one in December. I mean, okay, but what? Wild. Six months, Laura. 6 months, 6 months. That's crazy. Right. Well, I don't know why why are you talking about your own trauma? Like, you have like a daughter who is part of one of the most notorious cases on the freaking planet, nay, the universe. And you don't even mention how like this has helped your daughter with her trauma? Or are you just trying to work off of the last name and putting trauma in there to try to like get a one up? I don't even know what to think right now. Oh, it's him. That's his face. We've seen his face several times. That's him. That is him. That's his haircut. That's his hairline. That's him. That's him. Crazy. It is effing strange. Oh, thank you for the gifted memberships. Woke up at 1984. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, it's him. We know his face. It's him. Let's see if I can pop up the first picture that we had of him, because it was like mirror selfie right here. Let me go back and share this so y'all can see it was him. See? That's him. Same dude. Crazy. Crazy. Oh no. Dylan Mortenson's father. Wild stuff. Crazy shit. Yeah. I'm so tired of Moscow. I'm so tired of Moscow. Insane stuff. Okay, guys. I'm going to get off of here. Y'all stay safe in these storms. Oh, welcome, Rhonda. Welcome, 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 welcome. And again, let me go back up and do this one more time. Thank you again for all of you that joined and all the gifted memberships and the super stickers and the super chats. If y'all did anything on Cash App or PayPal or Buy Me a Coffee, that's also going to contribute to the half of all the donations that came in going to Connor so that we can get that for you, because I definitely want to hear what these frat bros have to say, especially the ones that were at this party. I want to hear the contradictions. I want to hear the similarities. I want to do some comparing and contrasting. And he's got 8 of them. 8 of them. Should be some interesting stuff. I'm hoping we get a little bit more information on timeline. That is for frickin' sure. Again, I appreciate you guys being in here with me, and y'all have a really, really super, super great night. Y'all, again, be careful in these storms. I will see you guys tomorrow for something. We'll go live tomorrow for something. I don't know what yet, but we'll do that. But WSU lawsuit video we'll post in the morning. I finished that one today. It'll catch up with what's going on the plaintiff side, and we go over the exhibit that they posted in there. Honestly, the only thing that I can see that even matters in their argument for why it should not be in the area that WSU wants it moved to, the employment. Whichever area is not 30% employed by WSU is where this thing needs to be held. Because if you have employment being held over the jury's heads, then you have a bot jury. Straight up. I just hope this case brings some discovery. that this filing brings some sort of discovery. But we'll see. Again, thank you so much for being in here with me tonight. You'll have a safe night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and roll this out. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, you guys. See y'all.